The Fault in Our Stars, #1 New York Times bestseller. The Fault in Our Stars is a heart-wrenching novel by John Green. Which tells the story of two teenagers, Hazel Grace, Lancaster and Augustus Waters, who fall in love while battling cancer. The novel became an instant hit, debuting at #1 on the New York Times bestseller list. And has since been translated into over 40 languages. Chapter 1. Late in the winter of my 17th year, my mother decided I was depressed. Presumably because I rarely left the house, spent quite a lot of time in bed. Read the same book over and over. Ate infrequently, and devoted quite a bit of my abundant free time to thinking about death. Whenever you read a cancer booklet or website, or whatever, they always list depression among the side effects of cancer. But, in fact, depression is not a side effect of cancer. Depression is side effect of dying. Cancer is also a side effect of dying. Almost everything is. But my mom believed I required treatment. So she took me to see my regular Dr. Jim. Who agreed that I was veritably swimming in a paralyzing and totally clinical depression. And that therefore my meds should be adjusted and also I should attend a weekly support group. This support group featured a rotating cast of charsters in various states of tumor-driven unwellness. Why did the cast rotate? A side effect of dying. The support group, of course, was depressing as hell. It met every Wednesday in the basement of stone-walled Episcopal church shaped like a cross. We all sat in a circle right in the middle of the cross. Where the two border would have met, where the heart of Jesus would have been. I noticed this because Patrick, the support group leader and only person over 18 in the room, talked about Heart of Jesus every freaking meeting. All about how we, as young cancer survivors, were sitting right in Christ's very sacred heart and whatever. So here's how it went in. God's heart, the 6 or 7 or 10 of us walked wheeled in, grazed at a decrepit selection of cookies and lemonade, sat down in the circle of trust, and listened to Patrick recount for the 1,000th time his depressingly miserable life story, how he had cancer in his balls and they thought he was going to die. But he didn't die, and now here he is, a full-grown adult. In a church basement in the 137th nicest in America. Divorced, addicted to video games. Mostly friendless, eking out a meager living by exploiting his cancer-tastic past. Slowly working his way towards a master's degree that will not improve his career prospects. Waiting, as we all do, for the sword of Damocles. To give him the relief that he escaped to low those many years ago. When cancer took both of his nuts but spared what only the most generous soul would call his life. And you too might be so lucky. Then we introduced ourselves, name, age, diagnosis, and how we're doing today. I'm Hazul, I'd say when they'd get to me. Cysteine. Thyroid originally, but with an impressive and long-settled satellite colony in my lungs. And I'm doing okay. Once we got around the cycle, Patrick always asked if anyone wanted to share. And then began the circle jerk of support, everyone talking about fighting and battling and winning and shrinking and scanning. To be fair to Patrick, he let us talk about dying, too. But most of them weren't dying. Most would live into adulthood, as Patrick had. Which meant there was quite a lot of competitiveness about it. With everybody wanting to beat not only cancer itself, but also the other people in the room. Like, I realize that this is irrational, but when they tell you that you have, say, a 20% chance of living 5 years, the math kicks in and you figure that's 1 in 5. So you look around and think, as any healthy person, would I gotta outlast 4 of these bastards? The only redeeming fact of support group was this kid named Isaac, a long-faced, skinny guy with straight blonde hair sweep over me one eye. And his eye were the problem. He had some FSN-tastically improbable eye cancer. One eye had been cut out when he was a kid, and now he wore the kind of thick glasses that made his eye, both the real one and glass one, preternaturally huge. Like his whole head was basically just his fake eye and his real eye staring at you. From what I could gather on the rare occasions when Isaac shared with the group, a recurrence had placed his remaining eye in motor peril. Isaac and I communicated almost exclusively through sighs. Each time someone discussed anti-cancer diets or snorting ground-up shark fin or whatever, he'd glance over at me and sigh over so slightly. I'd shake my head microscopically and exhale in response. So support group blew, and after a few weeks, I grew to be rather kicking and screaming about the whole affair. In fact, on the Wednesday I made the acquaintance of Augustus Walters. I tried my level best to get a support group. While sitting on the couch with my mom in the third leg of a 12-hour marathon. Of previous season's America's Next Top Model. Which admittedly I had already seen, but still. To be continued.